Hi, I'm Sandy O'Connor, and this is Artist Showcase for May. Now, just so you know, if you're watching this now, we filmed it on April 16th. So we really don't know for sure what our situation will be in May. But today I'm going to be talking to some people who will share with you their feelings about what has been going on and what they hope to see in the very near future. And I saw a quote the other day, and to me it has become my mantra for this entire situation that we're in. I think that when the dust settles, we will realize how little we need, how very much we actually have, and the true value of human connection. So our first guest today is Jeff Sinclair, a very good friend in the village who has been very active and very friendly to people and a good friend to many. And he has a lot of enthusiasm, and I think you're going to enjoy hearing what he has to say. Jeff, I want to ask you this question. What do you think are the keys to living long and prospering here in Laguna Woods?
Wow, that's a great question. Obvious answers are, exercise, good diet, things of that nature. But for me, the thing that motivates me to want to live longer is, and I don't know why at 63 this is important to me, but it is, it's my thirst of knowledge. I find myself just really fascinated about the wonderful things that the world has, in it. The fact that history, I never cared about history before growing up. We should actually do high school when we're in our 50s and 60s, because that's when I at least really want to learn about stuff. So I'm constantly on YouTube, on the internet, looking at various different things having to do with, the planet and the people that, how nations got created and things of that nature, and the good versus evil kind of thing. There's a lot of great out there. There's a lot of evil out there. So the cool thing about the stuff that I'm discovering now is that I think good's going to outweigh and beat evil. Ultimately here in our lifetimes, in fact. I think the world's going to be a much better place to live in than it ever has been throughout our most recent history. That thirst of knowledge is what keeps me wanting to live longer. And then I want to be somebody that has a reason to be remembered. So whether that is through acting or through inspiring people or through motivating people or being the life of the party or whatever, I want it to be a good reason to be remembered. And so that's kind of what motivates me to stick around as long as I possibly can.
How do you think it's benefited you in being involved in the theater here?
Wow. It's such a huge benefit because since I was a kid, I love playing games. I love make-believe and pretending. And the theater people here at the village especially, theater people all over for that matter, whether it's theater, whether it's television, or whether it's film, theater folks, entertaining type folks are crazy fun. They're crazy fun to hang out with. And like I said earlier, it's like being a kid again. It's an opportunity to just go play with people. You could be 75 years old or you could be 55 years old here in the village. And the whole idea of just having fun, doing acting and acting out games. And it's just like being a kid and playing games again. So much fun.
How did you feel about the fact that we had to cancel the show because you were certainly in it? And it was a little bit of a sadness that day, although I was amazed at how people reacted. They were so good about it. But what did you think about all that?
Well, yeah, I was disappointed like everybody else, mainly because I've been in a lot of theater productions here at the Woods, and this one by far was the best one that I had been in. So I was really looking forward to the public seeing it, which I'm sure they will soon enough. We're looking for venues once everything kind of relaxes. We're going to get people out to see this show live. It's a great show as far as that goes. I was a little disappointed, like I said, but I think it's going to be shown either live, and if this thing goes on very much longer, then maybe we'll throw it on TV6. Who knows?
Good. Well, at least you got the adventure of doing it, and I think that's something we have to sort of keep our mind on, right? That it was at least something fun to do, and luckily we had it filmed.
Absolutely. In fact, it's kind of crazy. We were on our dress rehearsal day, the dress rehearsal morning, because we were opening up. It was a Thursday. We were opening up on Friday, the show, and then we got the word that we're going to be shut down. And just so happens that Barbara Powell, the director, and Terry Fassé, they got word that they might be closing the thing down. So Barbara made a couple phone calls, got somebody come in to film the dress rehearsal, and it was it was really, really good. Most of the time, you don't have a good dress rehearsal, which means you're going to have a great show. It's probably a good thing it got canceled temporarily, because when you have a really great dress rehearsal, the show usually sucks.
Yeah, that's sort of a legend in the in the world of the theater, right?
Exactly.
Well, it's been great having you with us today, and thank you for your positive input and for your continuing positive input for the whole village.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Now we're going to be talking to Diane Johansson. This is a bubbly life force person. Any of you that know her know this to be true. And when she comes in the room, they always know she's there because the smile is so wide and her welcoming attitude towards everybody. So obviously we wanted to interview her and talk to her about her feelings because of this situation we've been going through with the virus. So the first thing I want to ask you, Diane, is, about being involved in the theater and how you feel about that, but I have to preface it by saying that you played a part in a show that got canceled. It was your very first role. You didn't even want to do it. How did you feel doing it, and then the fact that it was canceled?
I felt terrible when it was canceled because of the fact that we worked so hard and we rehearsed such a long time. And so finally I felt really great about doing it. And then it was canceled the day before we were going on. So that was not very exciting. But I never have been in the theater before, never had even thought about going into the theater, but moving to Laguna Woods, there's so many nice people. And people kept saying, you ought to try out for the theater, go to the Theater Guild, try out for a part. So I tried out for a couple, and I had a couple of walk-in parts, and that was fun because I didn't have to say anything. And then after that, they kept after me to try out for a talking part. So I did, and I got in the play that we're doing. And I think that what keeps you young and fun and exciting is that there were 80 and 90-year-olds that were there, that were dancing, singing, acting, memorizing lines. It made me feel young. And they were so wonderful. And a lot of times when you're playing a part, you're playing a younger person. That made me feel young. So the whole idea of everyone and the encouragement that I got from all of the Theater Guild people, and we became one big family. Rehearsals became fun. Now you'd go to rehearsal, you'd meet the people, you'd talk, they'd help you with your lines. And I all of a sudden loved what I was doing. And I had a part of Lola the Ditzy Blonde, which I think probably was, typecast rather well. And so anyway, since it was canceled, well, that was a shame, but maybe we'll find another time to, put it on with the Laguna Woods people, and I hope so, because it was a very good show.
It was, and one of the first gigs you had, as we referred to it in the biz, was you did a couple fun things at the Theater Guild meeting, but then you got involved with Chasing Dreams, and there was a group of you ladies called the Entourage.
That's
ladies.
right. That's right.
And tell us about the part you played and how you felt about doing it.
Well, at first they told me I should be Kim Novak, and I thought, okay, well, that'll be fine. There was a Marilyn Monroe, there was a Betty Boop, there was Cher, and myself as Marilyn as Kim Novak. And it was fun because we dressed all up, wore wigs, dressed up in fancy clothes, and we walked around the lobby, and we went to Restaurant 19 and to other places and advertised what we were going to be doing. So we advertised the play, and it was a blast. It was fun dressing all up and being someone else. And being Kim Novak was great. I don't know that I look like her at all, but I sure had fun playing her.
I know, and the beauty of it is that the audience loved it too, but it was just a fun way to get involved. And I remember saying to all of you when we were done with that show, okay, you girls, you ladies, now you have to get into speaking parts. And you all went, oh no, not me, oh no, not me. But you did.
I wouldn't have done it without people like you and a couple of others that just kept calling and saying, you must get out and try out for a part. You need to do that. You just need to do it, Diane. And I'm so thankful that you did, because of the fact that I'm enjoying myself so much. And then I had a role where I just walked my dogs across the stage.
I remember that.
And they were just going to have me walk the dogs across the stage, so I thought, well, I'd like to stay on stage maybe a little bit longer. So I came up with the idea of walking the dogs in the stroller, and then I took one of the dogs and put him on the ground out of the stroller, then took a baggie with a rock, put it on the ground, and then pretended like I was picking up poop, and I put it back, and I went, oh, and looked down, and then, picked it up, and then went a little bit further and did the same thing with the other dog. And then I went off stage, and there was a security guard. So I just handed him the bag of poop, or rocks, and walked on off. So that was fun, because I ad-libbed my own little part in there as well.
I love it. So tell me, what's on your list of fun things that you want to do when we can open up our village again and have more of a public atmosphere?
Oh, I know. The first thing I want to do is shopping. That's my number one thing. I love shopping. And I shopped until they kept closing every store. And I think the last one was Staples. And so I was going in just buying stationery that I don't even need. But I want to do that. Plus, I want to get back into golf. I took golf lessons here from one of the golf pros, and now then they close the courses, and I need to get back out there and practice all the things that I learned. I want to go back to playing pickleball. Want all the clubhouses to open up so that we can go to all the dances again. We love the dances. We have so much fun. Also, Clubhouse 4 with all the crafts, because I'm taking a wearable art class and an art class and a painting class and a sketching class. And we're doing it on Zoom now because we can't go out and all the clubhouses are closed because of the virus. But Zoom is fun, but I'm a people person, so I like to touch and feel kind of and be involved that way. So I'll be glad when we can go back and do that. Also, I can hardly wait to go to the beaches. The beaches have all been closed down, and I love the beaches, and I love to put my toes in the water and walk along the beach edge, and I'm excited about that. Also, let's see, I work out. I mean, our Bible study group. I'm a greeter, and so as a greeter, we have people coming in, and we have about 100 people. Then we divide up into little groups, and I love to hug the people, and they love to hug me. And so when you greet each other, you're hugging and feeling and touching, and it's a nice thing to do. And now I don't know when we go back, if that will be something we really will be doing right away. It probably will take a while. In fact, they may be coming back in with masks on. I have no idea, so I don't know what that'll be like. But that'll be fun to see. And I eventually think people will go back to normal, but I think it'll take a while.
What about the famous, now to be forever famous since last year, Woodstock?
Woodstock, oh my. I'm excited about that. I'm scared about that in a way. I started sharing last year for the first time, and it was the biggest and best Woodstock that they've ever had. And we had such a good time, and we had 1,200 people that were there. And I started in January planning last year for a July event. Well, our event is scheduled now for July 25th, but don't know if it'll be open or if people will be wanting to get into large gatherings by then. We're going to see if we can cancel and maybe do it in September or October, but I'm not sure. But I hope we can do it. We have a beer and wine garden planned in the back patio with a band that's very interactive, and they come out with tambourines and all the fun kind of things that you can, play with and have a fun time intermingling. And then we're using the bands that live here in Woodstock. The people that live here, their bands will be inside from 2 to 4. That's from 12 to 2. And then from 2 to 4, the Laguna Woods bands will perform in the clubhouse. And from 4 to 9, we'll have free bands that are outside bands. And there'll be face painters, and there'll be photographers, and there'll be crafters, and there'll be food trucks. And it'll be so fantastically fabulous. So I hope everyone will plan July 25th, put it on their calendar, but put it in pencil, because we might have to change it to another time later on, and hopefully we can have it this year, because it's one of the best events in Laguna Woods and one of the most fun ones. And I think this year, because people have been cooped up and sort of being sad and not having a good time and so forth with themselves and being closed in, that they can get out and whoopee and have all kinds of fun and excitement and laugh and eat and drink and love each other and have a good time.
What do you think are the keys to living a long and prosperous life here in the woods?
Man, I think having a positive attitude. I think that's the most important thing there is. And you know what I do? And I do this. I don't just say it. Everyone says, oh yes, have a positive attitude. But I believe that everywhere I go, every person I meet, I look for something positive in the person. Every activity I go to, I look for something positive. And every event I go to, I go look for something positive. And if you do that, you can find something good in every single thing you do. And if you do that, you'll be positive and you'll be happy. And you've got to carry that attitude with you. And I think also when you get up in the morning, if you give thanks for the day and just, I don't know, I get up every day and I know that life hits you with a lot of negative things. We know that. But there's still something positive about every single day when you get up. And if you start doing this, you'll find more and more things each day that are positive that you can talk to yourself about. So before you even get out of bed, before I get out of bed, and I usually get up and I'm hit the road and I'm out and I don't sit and drink coffee. I go and get busy. But I always start the day that way because it gives you a big smile and makes you happy and you start out with a positive day besides. And if you want to, you can look in the mirror and smile at yourself. But when I look in the mirror, what I see scares me. So I don't really want to look in the mirror. But to be active, make friends, go out and get involved in activities. The people in Laguna Woods are happy people. They're nice people. They want to help you. And every time you get in the classes or you see anyone, they want to mingle. I've got people here that I've known in the 2 years that I've lived here that really are as good of friends and maybe even better than some, and some that I've known for 20 and 30 years. They just seem like this is a place to live that people want to interact and be nice to each other. Now, if you're a person that doesn't want to get out and be active and do all these things, then the other thing you can do to stay positive is to help others. And I think that's so important. So many people need help. And you can get as much gratitude and love and wonderful feeling inside by helping others as you can by doing things for yourself. And a balance of the two is perfect. There's a book, it's called Acres of Diamonds. And there's a farm, and this guy was farming his farm, and he farmed and he felt good about the whole thing, and he was happy that he was farming, and he liked the job. But someone came by and said, you know, you could be very wealthy. And go to India, you can have all kinds of diamonds. There's all kinds of diamonds there. So he left his wife and his children. He went to India, and this is a true story. And he went there and didn't find any diamonds. Went to some other countries, no diamonds. Eventually he went to the river, wrote a suicide letter, jumped in the river, and died. Somebody bought his farm. The farmer was there, and the farmer was tolling the land and stuff, and got these big rocks, and he kept digging up these big black rocks, and they're ugly rocks. He was piling them up in piles. But one was sort of shiny. He put it on his mantle. The pastor came by one day and said, where'd you get that rock? He says, I've got tons of them out there in a heap, right outside there. Ended up, this was the largest diamond area in the world. In fact, even Queen Elizabeth, some of her diamonds in her crown are from this certain area of diamonds. And so it just goes to show that where you live is acres of diamonds. And I think Laguna Woods is acres of diamonds. We have the people, we have the place, we have trees, we live in a beautiful community. It's clean, it's safe, and it's a beautiful place to live. And I think that that's the way to stay positive, is just live here and realize that your diamonds are right here in Laguna Woods.
Well, this is going to be a wonderful time with Sandy Bassler. This is a woman who inspires. This is a woman who has fun with life. This is a woman who is a good friend to many, many, many people. And hopefully, we'll talk about that later, but there's something I want to share with you towards the end of our talking together. So let me introduce you to Sandy, and I'm going to ask you this first question. How has it been being involved in the theater, and what has it meant to you?
Well, the friends, the activities, the get-togethers, the acting, the learning from others has just given me a lift. It really has. The last 4 years being involved with Theater Guild, and especially the last 3 years being very involved and then also this year being on the board has just enlightened my life. It has helped me gain a lot of strength. I get a lot of love and affection from all Theater Guild members. Very close-knit family, as I would say. Very willing to help in any way they can, professionally in the theater world or personally. So a great group of people, very energetic, very talented. Oh my gosh, the talent in Theater Guild is just unbelievable. I mean, some of these people bring me to tears when I see them on stage, when I'm doing their makeup for Theater Guild. It just makes your heart pop.
Tell me how you felt when you got called in 24 hours before the show opened to play a part in Chasing Dreams.
It was a challenge. In the middle of chemotherapy, the memory is not so well. So taking on that part and having 24 hours to get your lines right. Didn't get them quite right the first night, but nobody knows because I haven't read the script. And just, I love improv, so I just improv'd it and with Mark, and we just did it, and it turned out really great. And I was very sad that the lady that had hurt herself and wasn't able to do the part, and I was able to step in, and I was very blessed to be able to do that, and it was very fun.
I know.
Very fun.
We all got a kick out of it too. And we were amazed at how quickly you were able to do it. So it was super good. Talking about fun things to come, what are the things you're most looking forward to when we are sort of allowed to get more interactive with our friends, family, and all of the people here?
Well, if people that know me that are watching today know that I am a huge, huge hugger. I thrive on hugs, physical touch. That's one of my hardest things I've been through, is not having that physical touch. I'm married and have a husband and think I'm driving him crazy with all the hugs, but I really miss the interaction, the touching and the holding of other people. It's very healthy for me. That's one of the things I'm really looking for when this is over with, is to have a hug fest and get as many people together and we all just hug and big bear hugs. I just can't wait.
How about you were very good at exercising. You do that pretty religiously, so you've had to pull back on that, right?
I have pulled back on that. Wish I hadn't. I can feel my body starting to break down a little bit. It does after about 2 to 3 months. The cancer slowed me down quite a bit. I picked up some back up, but now with the virus and being isolated a little bit, it's hard. It's hard to get motivated to do things. I have a lot of good friends, and we're doing things together on the phone. We're doing things on FaceTime to try to keep ourselves active and that type of
Normally,
thing.
you would be taking yoga classes.
Yoga and aerobic dance. I also teach when Emeritus isn't teaching. I'll go in and get some girls together and rent a little room, and we all go in with our mats and we listen to great 70s music and just laugh and get on the floor and dance and exercise, and it's a lot of fun.
And since your favorite thing is not cooking, I bet you're going to be happy not to have to do that.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I'm just thrilled. I can't wait for this to be over. I've saved a lot of money by cooking, but boy, I don't like the kitchen, no. I would much rather be doing anything else than anything in the kitchen.
What about dancing? Dances.
Dances, I tell you, I used to turn the music on, put my headphones on, and as my husband is home working, and I'm in the back of the house, and I put my headphones on and do my own little dance, and he comes back to say, there's a lot of noise back here from my feet, so I used to try to do it barefooted so I don't make too much noise and certainly disturb the people under me.
Okay, how about the dances that we have every month and sometimes every week?
Yeah, I miss it a lot. I miss the camaraderie with the people, seeing my friends, meeting new friends, certainly meeting new friends coming into the village, new residents. It's one of my big things. I love to meet new residents and take them around the village and show them everything. I've taken a good dozen people in my golf cart and showed them all the clubhouses and give them the rules and here's what you can do and you can't do and show them all the fun things in the village you can do.
How did you make that connection with these new people?
Through the clubs, through Theater Guild and the Baby Boomers.
Oh, okay. So that's good because I know Baby Boomers was big that way. And then what do you think are the keys to living long and having a prosperous life here? Because you had some real challenges with your cancer, but your constitution and your attitude have been so huge.
Yeah, I know. It's really different. It's just that's who I am. It was the way I was raised. I was the oldest of 3 daughters without a father, and a mother had to work, so I had to help raise my 2 sisters and responsibilities at home. My grandmother was a very strong woman, extremely strong, and I take a lot of my cues from her. And positive, one thing my father did say is, if you want to do anything in life, if you put your brain to it, you can do it. And I'm doing it, and that's all it takes is putting your brain to it. I'm not going to get depressed over this cancer. I'm not going to let it put me down. I'm going to live every day to the fullest, and that's what I'm doing, and it's worked. 3 years of fighting this cancer, and I'm still fighting it.
Right, but you know, one of the challenges for your friends is that you never seem sick, you never look sick. You might have a day here or a day there where you're a little tired, a little run down, and then you're right back in it. And I think your doctor's even amazed, isn't he?
But yeah, actually 5 oncologists cannot believe I've fought, because the blood work that I have taken every week and have drawn every week shows that I should have been in the hospital half dead, and I'm still up running around and having a blast, you know. So they're going, it doesn't match. The paperwork doesn't match what you look like. So, well, I'm sorry. This is just who I am.
Don't you think doctors will even admit to attitude being a big part of...
Huge. It's here. And you put your brain to it, it's just fine. I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm going to fight all the way to the very end.
Yep, and hopefully that's going to be years
and years.
away.
This is the most wonderful place to live in the village, I tell you. I thank God every day for putting me here in this village. I think it was a blessing, and I have increased my friends by hundreds and close friends by just unbelievable. And that means so much to me. And I think I've grown a lot as a person by living here, because every day there's something new to do here and new people to meet every single day and encourage and to help them along in any way they can, you know, and inspire them and get them excited about life again.
Wow, it's great. It makes me very happy to hear you talk this way. But I know you do that because you do it every day.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for telling us a little more about you and how you feel about
It's very much. And like I say, everybody just keep on, you know, being strong. This is going to be over soon, and we're going to be out there having fun and giving hugs to everybody, and we'll be better off with it. So thank you.
I think we will. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
It was so great visiting with Jeff and Diane and Sandy. These are people that I know, but you know, I was inspired today. Even though I know them quite well, they said things, they spoke about things that I didn't know, and it was a huge inspiration. And I'm hoping you're going to feel that way too as you watch this. And when you are in the village and you see these 3 people, which you probably will because they're everywhere, be sure you go up to them and say hi, and I guarantee you they'll help make your day. And it was something that I enjoyed doing so much today, and I hope that it just makes you feel as good as it has made me feel.